Welcome. This is my latest video in my Tech Bench build series, and I'll put a link below to my Tech Bench playlist where you can find my other videos, and I'll also put links below to some of the products I'm using in this video, and if you use those links it helps me out a little bit and doesn't cost you anything extra. So in a previous video I set up this VESA mount for an Intel NUC on this dual monitor stand. So what this does is it sits between the stand and the monitor, and the plate extends over here so you can mount an Intel NUC with the VESA mount, because an Intel NUC will mount on the back of a monitor, but it won't when you're using a monitor stand like this, so this offsets it. So this video is kind of a mashup of another video where I use this product, and this is the U-Hide-It Mac Mini mount, and this mounts on the back of a monitor, and you can slide a Mac Mini into it like that. So I'm going to test to see if this fits on the back of here. So first I need to remove this. Okay, now I'll remove this plate. So now I'm going to put this into position and see how it fits. So right off the bat, these thumb screws are getting in the way of this mount. So I'm going to get some hardware that I can replace this with. Actually, I'm going to look at a different solution. So this dual monitor stand, this is a Wally dual monitor stand, and I'll put a link below to the video I did on this and this plate, both. It came with a pouch here that came with some extenders, and it came with these longer bolts, so I'm going to try these. So here's a look at the hardware I'm using, and these screws here are a M4 screw with a 0.7mm pitch on them, if you need to get some of these at a hardware store. So I'll stick a screw in the mount here, I'll put a spacer behind it, and I can already see I think it's going to hit the back of this case. So I could use these spacers with some screws, but I'm going to try and remove these and put some shorter screws in there that I have, which are these screws, at least on the left side. So I almost have clearance here. I'll just find a few washers to put behind here. Okay, so I found some number 8 washers, and the thicknesses vary on these. Like this one's pretty thick, this one's pretty thin. And I think I need 2, so I'll put a thin and a thick one together. And I don't have enough for the whole thing here. Okay, so I have a screw in here. I'll hold that in and I'll place the washers on the back side, and then I'll install it. Okay, that gave me pretty decent clearance. So I have 2 screws in right now. I don't have these 2 in because I don't have washers, but I mostly want to make this video to see if this is even possible. So let's put this in here now. There we go. So I noticed one problem right off the bat is that it pressed the monitor down on this side. That's quite a bit of weight on there. So I can probably tilt it here. This uses friction to keep it from rotating, so I think I got it right there. So as long as you're not pressing on it a lot, I think that would fit. And this is completely hidden from the front of the monitor, although you might see the wires hanging down. Because the Intel NUC sits up a little higher so you could hide the wires easier, you might have some wires kind of hanging down. But it looks like this is possible, and that's why I want to make this video. And I guess I should mention, I'm not doing this permanently, I'm just doing it for this video to test and see if it will work, because I know other people would potentially want to do something like this. That's not to say someday I won't do this, because as I upgrade computers, this one might come down to my bench eventually. So this would also come back here, if I can tilt this back, like so. You might have to adjust your stand a little bit because it's going to touch over here, but you don't really need this space here, so you can butt it up as tight as you can get it. And then if you're using a slightly larger monitor, it would be out this way a little more and you'd have even more room. These are 24-inch monitors. So but that seems to fit in there pretty good. So if you want to do this, I would recommend getting the U-height mount and then making sure you have the hardware to mount it. So you could use some washers behind here. And if you go to a hardware store, you can get the M4 washers. You don't have to get the number 8. And double check your washers are the same size as each other. And you might want to get, you say 8 of them. You may only use 4, but at least you have them. You don't want to have to make another trip for, pennies worth of washers. And then whatever size screws you use, make sure you have, see, I use 2 of these screws here. So I can't use the thumb screws over here. You would want to make sure you have screws too. So like if I went to the hardware store, I'd pick up 2 screws and 8 washers to fit in here. So that's a demonstration of mounting a Mac Mini on the back of a monitor with a VESA arm mount. If you have any questions about this, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.